It's not always palm trees and coconuts. Sometimes out here we really earn our money. In this case, this is a light barge, and if you remember, it's about 25 or 30 feet to the bow of that, from the water line to the top of that. This was us on our first day of the hitch, taking a beat and coming up the coast. Hello and welcome, I'm Tim and this is TimBatSea, coming to you from Wilmington, North Carolina, and we are not here discharging or loading. We're actually here weatherbound. Weatherbound is something that we do when it doesn't seem safe or proper for us to head out into harm's way. In this case, after crew changing, we were headed from Florida up to New York, and we were hoping to get around Hatteras, and the weather continued to deteriorate, and so after a while decisions were made and we turned around, and now we are at safe port in Wilmington, North Carolina. Gave the crew a little time to get all of our monthly safety drills done and our weekly and 24-hour checks done and all that sort of stuff. We also went grub shopping. I got a video coming up of grub shopping for you probably next week. This is just a short little video. I've been away and I've had some things going on in my personal life that kept me from putting as much energy into the channel as I'd like, but that's a story for another time. But anyway, the good news is that I'm back on the boat and we are safe and sound, and maybe in a couple days or maybe a day or so after things calm down, we'll head back out north. But until then, sit back, relax, and see us not sitting back and not relaxing as we're taking a thumping. Remember, the cameras never seem to show what's really going on. But that's it. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. So here we are pounding into a head sea. I've talked before about the importance of period, and how when you're beating into weather, the period is shortened, even as opposed to running with the downwind, the period is lengthened. I often hear sometimes people say, "Oh, I was out in 10-foot seas, I was out in 20-foot seas," whatever they're saying. But they don't say what direction, or what the period was. There are a lot of people that I've worked with that have towed in the Pacific, where 20-foot seas are very common, but they have a period of about 40 seconds. And they basically just go up one side of a mountain and down one side of the other, and everything's pretty cool. But in this case, we are steaming into this, and it's a big heavy tug, but it gets tossed around like it's a little dinghy. And like I say, the camera never seems to do it justice. But and when things are like this, it's not like it's dangerous or out of parameter or anything like that. It's just really uncomfortable. One thing I miss about Puerto Rico, when we were working in the trade winds there, we were always, every time we'd go east, we'd beat into it, and when we'd go west, it felt like it was calm, even though the seas were exactly the same. The period got stretched out, and we were going with it, and it was really nice. But the thing about Puerto Rico is we only had like a watch or two, or maybe sometimes 3 watches, and then after that, you'd be in your port, and then you'd be good, and then you'd go the other way, and you'd be good that way. But where things get really tough is when you're taking a beating for days on end. It's very hard to sleep in your rack. In one moment you're elevated you're weightless, and then the next time, when the boat comes up and you go down, you sink into your mattress like you're 3 or 4 times the weight you normally are. Another thing that came up, that I thought that I should talk about is that I took a lot of heat with some of the newer subscribers to the channel, saying how, you guys, it's terrible that you don't take care of the boat. It's all rusty. And those that are longtime viewers of the channel used to see the boat that I used to run in New York Harbor with beautiful painted decks, and that's because they're inland. As you can see, this is this isn't exactly the most comfortable weather at any means, but the deck is always underwater for offshore tugs, and it's very hard to get time to paint the deck because the deck requires you to remove a lot of material that's down there, and then go and put the different layers of coatings on to protect it. And you need a long window of no wind, or in our case in Puerto Rico, we always, every time the wind would be blowing 25 or 30 knots in the afternoon, you get spray on the deck, and that isn't really conducive to putting stuff down on, properly on the deck. So that's one of the reasons why you see our deck looking miserable. Another reason is that, I know I'm making excuses here, but those in the industry that will see a rusty tug usually see them as, that's kind of like when you were in school and the kid with the clean uniform used to be all proud, but we all knew that he was the guy that sat on the bench, while the guys with the dirty uniforms were the guys that were out there grinding up the gridiron. That's kind of how I see this as well. But something that we have coming up, every 5 years we have to do a major ABS inspection. That's the American Bureau of Shipping, and that requires the tug to come out of water, and during that time many systems are checked. They check the thickness of the plating of the steel, and they replace valves, and during that time when it's out, a lot of maintenance gets done. Maintenance on the mechanical systems, and it's also a good time where you get a lot of painting done too. So stick with us. I'm sure that we will be able to have the boat looking much better after our ABS scheduled 5-year refit is coming up, and that should be in the next couple months. But anyway, this is us, and you can see we're bouncing quite around here, and that's how it goes. It gets, like I say, it's never really dangerous. It's not like we're going to sink or anything. It's just really uncomfortable. And as a master, I really worry about the crew. Everyone can take a beating for 12, 6, 18 hours. But when you get into 3 or 4 or 5 days of this, you start making bad decisions. And it's not like decisions like you're saving the world. It's like a hand holding onto a rail when you go down, and you don't want to fall and break. So anyway, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you on the water.